brothers and sisters, and friends, and I see some enemies. In fact, I think we'd be fooling ourselves if we had an audience this large and didn't realize that there were some enemies present.
Some people can't fucking just. Some people don't know how to win properly.
That's usually usually what we see is people do a certain amount of prep, and then they go in, and then they run into something we totally would have discussed if they'd done more prep, and then they're like, "Well, this shit doesn't work." That's like a good chunk of people who don't, you know what I mean?
Dude,
who don't do the work.
They don't know what to do with it.
Look,
they're like, "Oh,
the
I
shit,
don't know what to say."
It works,
Yeah.
bro.
Well,
I'm not
and
one
even-
of those
even
commercial
then-
type, but it fucking works. Okay.
But you do have to keep your head in this game and think about everything that can come up, so that you kind of have a little bit of your footing when weird shit happens. That's kind of what I mean. If you can't but if you can come in here and say, "Hey, somebody role play me," and you have to actually break character because you have no fucking idea what else to say, that means you're not ready for a judge. It's like that's like saying, "I want to play racquetball," and you like lose horribly. It's like, I should be good enough to play professional now.
Yeah, and there's definitely a lot to be said about that, Gary. That's definitely true. But, with most of the judges, it doesn't matter how much you practice in here, because once those psychopaths start threatening you, that bucket gets kicked over, and that adrenaline just pushes everything else out of the brain.
Well, and that's part of the deal is you've got to, it's just like in, martial arts or whatever, where you're making it more and more part of your natural instincts. And I know what you mean, where you want to get adrenaline going, you want to feel under the gun, It's almost like we need to be nastier. We'd need to make fun of people for saying the wrong thing and shit like that. You know what I mean? We'd need to just be really kind of ignorant about it, but you can't do that because people then get sour on it,
Yeah, well, I was trying to relay this information to my mom, and she heard it about the No State Project, and she was like, she understands it, but she was like, "Do you realize the information that you know could actually get you hurt?"
Of course.
And she made it seem like this information is information that a good majority of people have no fathom of.
Mm-hmm. Well, point out the inconsistency and the logical fallacies that, who's going to hurt me? The people that claim to be there to protect us?
She's like one of those people who know what the secrets are, but are like, "Yeah, I know what the secret is, but I'm kind of cool, like, where I am."
This is old. See, the problem is this isn't new knowledge. This has been around since, thousands of years ago. I mean, it's just always been there. The idea that it's not right to boss other people around isn't like a secret, brand new stuff. It's old. For real old. Like Socrates old. And we don't have any like unique insider information. It's just, oh, by the way, they're full of shit. They're just a bullshit priesthood. Same as any other full of shit priesthood ever has been.
But Gary, who's going to build the roads?
They used to ask that when Russia was falling. Mm-hmm. They asked who would make toilet paper. Because that toilet paper was one of the big state created, they figured no one would make toilet paper. What's the point? It's such a cheap thing, Wasn't worth making. They were worried because that was one of the main goods,
Toilet paper.
Yeah. Toilet paper. Mm-hmm. They had trouble imagining, because that was one of the state-produced goods. That was, there were so many things that were state-produced. And it's unlike, I guess because it's not like food. Because food, everybody knew how you get food. And food, as toilet paper, they just couldn't imagine a black market, and there hadn't been a black market for toilet paper. So it was just a big state good.
Toilet paper doesn't grow on trees,
And then the other argument is, if it weren't for the fact that our whole state, our whole culture is built upon the idea of roads, why believe that roads wouldn't be a factor if it hadn't been for the huge subsidy, and reliance upon the idea? We might have people movers and trains and shit like that going. We might have air travel.
Yeah.
We might have drones. Drones might have come up as a bigger thing earlier.
Are there any services you can think of that
Like-
would be a challenge to replace?
Well, I mean, what happened to phone? The minute that someone found a way to sidestep AT&T's monopoly on phones, a government monopoly, mind you. I mean, as closed loop as you can get for a monopoly, was AT&T's phone, copper line phone network. The moment that someone was able to step outside that, how relevant are copper lines now, really? Other than just vestiges of having wiring still strung about, I mean, if it hadn't existed, we'd have other things going on by now. Much to Stahl's chagrin, radio frequencies everywhere.